Tuesday. We are a day closer to the one and only home opener Rail Yard Dog game. So I'm very excited about that. So I'm trying to stay in the positive spirits. I have something to look forward to by the end of the week, and I hope you guys do too. I just bought a jersey yesterday. Yes, I finally got my hands on a jersey. It's very expensive. So I'm trying to ignore that price, but I'm pumped up for the game. I'm really excited about kicking off the sprint with you guys today. We have a lot of cool stuff to get to, a lot of interesting things that are happening, a lot of stories that have kept you talking online, kept you guys interested, and obviously those trendy stories. I know all of our Halloween fans out there, we got something for you. Not for me personally, but get this. Have you ever wanted to be buried alive? Well, there's a place for you to do that. We're going to the comment section on this one, guys. Some people's experience with this particular haunted attraction. We're going to talk about it. But I want you guys to tell me, while this show is going on as we speak, let me know, yay or nay, do you want to be buried alive? And if you're looking at your screen right now, she can't move. She says no, but she's doing it. Either way, guys, it's going to be a cool story coming up your way later on in the sprint. We'll get to that, but obviously drop your comments in the comment section on this article so Jazzy Jazz can get to them, and we give you guys a shout out in the comment section later on in the sprint. So let's get to some stories that are happening here on a local level that is something very important. We got to talk about those important stories that, again, impacts our day-to-day lives, and one of those being breast cancer. You know, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and women are reminded to make sure they get their annual mammograms. Very important. Some might discover they have dense breast tissue. Doctors at Cleveland Clinic said that means there are more milk ducts in a collective tissue than in what they call fatty tissue. They say the dense breast tissue can show up as white on a mammogram, and it can make it harder to spot breast cancer because it also shows up as white. Self-checks at home can also be challenging since dense breast tissue tends to have more lumps and bumps, but doctors say dense breast tissue is very common in women, and they're learning more about it every day.
The other part that we're learning more about is how having dense breast tissue can increase your risk of breast cancer a little bit compared to women who don't have dense breast tissue. So women who have the most dense or the extremely dense tissue are about 4 to 6 times more likely to develop breast cancer in their lifetime compared to someone who has really fatty breast tissue.
So currently, breast cancer is the most common cancer for women in the United States, aside from skin cancers, and it is also the second leading cause of cancer death in women. So again, this is a very important thing. I know a lot of people, you got your Relay for Lives going on, you got different things, people wearing pink and stuff. That awareness is very important because, again, breast cancer is something that I feel has touched every family in my life that I've known. I know all the way back to my grandma. My mom had a scare. It's just something that's very serious, and it's very important for women to get their checkups because we need to stop the issues before it gets extreme. And I remember I was telling you guys about this dancer that was talking about, I did a story with a long time ago. Saw a recent photo of her with no hair. She's going through chemo treatment as we speak with breast cancer. So again, it's something that you never know will creep up on you, and when it happens, is there. So again, raising awareness about it, and obviously this something that they're studying closely is very important. So get your checkups, and I know the age is getting younger and younger as we speak as well, as far as when to get it checked up. So it's always just to be safe than sorry. Okay, nurses and staff at Lewis Gale are working to make sure parents who have lost a baby know their child is not forgotten. This is something else that is also very devastating to families, but this particular global memorialization of this kind of sheds light and helps these families who have gone through this traumatic experience. So Laura Smith is a labor and delivery nurse and helped host a global wave of light on Sunday. It's a national event to honor the pregnancy and infant loss. Smith wants parents to know that their baby matters no matter how long they had with them.
We just want them to know that their babies haven't been forgotten, and take away the stigma where people feel like they can't talk about their loss.
So Smith also heads up the bereavement committee, helping parents find resources and connect after loss. This is something I think would have been very helpful years ago, decades ago even. Unfortunately, if you know me, I never got a chance to meet my older brother because my mom, unfortunately, my parents lost him to SIDS when he was born. And so that was a really tough situation for my family. And the resources that they needed, like this particular resource that this lady is doing, I think is just beneficial because you never know who is affected or impacted by the loss of a pregnancy or a loss of an infant. It's something that is unthinkable. And I pray to God that I never have to experience that myself. But I have, even to this day, my mom is still dealing with the loss of my brother. So again, it's a terrifying, traumatizing thing to have to go through. But it's cool that there are resources out there for families having to deal with that. So more on this story is on our website at WSLS.com. You can see the full story right then and there. Switching gears now, it's fall, which means the foliage is getting a little different. It's getting really pretty outside. And things for you guys to keep in mind when you're trying to rake up those leaves, okay? Apparently, they're saying don't do it because we can make some mulch out of it, okay? So before you get out the trash bags, expert at Virginia Tech wants you to rethink the way you get rid of the leaves in your yard. They recommend mulching your leaves. Mulching can be done by simply running the leaves over a typical lawnmower or a mulching mower. There are several benefits, not only saving you time and keeping unnecessary items like bag leaves out of landfills, but also mulching acts as a natural fertilizer. Scientists recommend doing this when the leaves are a little damp because they're easier to shred. So this is cool. I mean, it should help, in the long run, but I know it's probably disappointing to a lot of kiddos out there who love, when they get the big, huge piles of leaves stacked up and you got the kids that love to jump in it, or dogs that love to run through it. I was talking about this earlier today. This story reminded me of this little boy I saw that hid in a big pile of leaves that his dad had just raked up. Little cute little thing. And as soon as the dad got to him, he jumped out and scared him and made the dad fall down. It was just the cutest thing ever. And I think a very special memory that family has together for forever now. But yeah, not to say, you're not forced to do this. You don't have to do the mulching. You can do it old school your way, but that's just an option out there for you if you want some more growth happening in your gardens. All right, guys, speaking of outside wind and cold and weather and foliage, let's get to this weather for today. If you woke up today, I had to turn the heated seats on, the steering wheel, and all that stuff because it was super cold to me, a little nippy. I know it's cold because Bo, my dog, whenever I go walk him, he always takes forever to go to the bathroom because he wants to explore. He went straight to his spot and got straight up and went straight into the house. So that's how cold it was. Either way, meteorologist Chris Michaels, he joins us right now with our Tuesday forecast.
Happy Tuesday, guys. The next few afternoons will gradually get a little warmer, and that limited warmth builds ahead of this next cold front. Just like the last few, it gives us some showers late Friday. After that, gusty winds to follow and cooler air returning. Most of us waking up to temperatures in the 30s next Monday and Tuesday mornings. I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning on The Sprint.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Always great news to hear right there. So if you ever checked out a library book, I've always, especially when I was in school, whenever I checked out a library book, I always got kind of nervous whenever the date to turn it back in came up, and I was like, I'm going to make sure I do this because I don't want to pay for this book. Well, what happens if a book never got turned back in until 90 years later? Check out this story. The Republic Library in New York received its copy of Youth and Two Other Stories in the mail last month. As you can see, the original checkout date on this was October 11th, 1933. And 20 cents per day over 99 years. That late fee adds up to more than $6,400. But luckily, the library caps its late fee at just $5. So they said that they got this through the mail, which is one thing. But I honestly want to track down the person who actually turned it in because I bet that person has some type of history. Over 90 years, this thing has been out of commission. So I'm interested in seeing the history or what all this book has gone through. And the fact that they were able to turn it in, I think that's pretty cool in itself to say that, You know, maybe somebody who had it passed away at an old age and the family decided to give it back to the library or something. I don't know the story. Either way, it'll be pretty cool learning how that all came about, or what was that family discussion about when they found the book. It was like, oh my God, this was due back 90 years ago. You know, Grandma, get your life together. But yeah, cool story right there. And another cool story right here, Dolly Parton is pitching in to help the Salvation Army this Thanksgiving, okay? The country music legend will perform at halftime of the Dallas Cowboys-Washington Commanders game. It's part of the Salvation Army's Red Kettle Kickoff fundraiser. Parton will ring the traditional Salvation Army holiday bell to jumpstart the holiday giving season. Cowboy fans are also hoping that her performance will help them overcome a run of bad luck. Last year's performance by the Jonas Brothers lifted them to a 7-2 record when Being Stars performed at halftime. So, when the big stars performed at halftime, excuse me. But my thing is that, okay, so hypothetically speaking, if the performances give them good luck, you can't go wrong with Dolly Parton, okay? So if Dolly Parton kind of lifts that stadium up, shows out, gets everybody on the, you know, very excited and ready to go this season, and they still lose, again, with this run of bad luck, they have no excuse. Cowboys, I don't know what's happening with them. I will forever be that person that will sit in the background and just watch the game. And if they win, I'm like, look at you, you can do it, you did it. But if they lose, I'm just like, come on, man, this is happening. You know, I know there's some diehard Cowboys fans because, like, so I come from San Antonio, and there were so many people, even like every time football is on, you'll hear, and it's kind of funny that the amount of legacy the Cowboys have, where no matter how much they lose, you will never lose a Cowboys fan. Like, everybody is just all on board. I get it. I get the hype, you know, but like I said, my girl Brittany Ware has convinced me to come over to the green side. I'm an Eagles fan now. I love me some Jalen Hurts, but yeah, it's just it's all a debate. Whoever your team is, no matter what they score, obviously you're going to be loyal to that team. So let's just wish the Cowboys the best of luck. And if they win, I may claim them again. I haven't disclaimed them. I'm not throwing them to the wolves at all because I think it's cool. But if they do win, I will jump on that boat. That's me. But anyways, moving on to this. This is the story that we were talking about earlier that I asked you guys. Make sure you get in the comment section. Since the beginning of this show today, would you ever want to be buried alive? That's the key question. I don't know people out there personally who want to do that, but there are some people out there that do, okay? So here's the experience. It's a haunted house in Wisconsin. It's getting some attention this Halloween season. It creates a one-of-a-kind experience where you are in a room that slowly fills up with germ-resistant balls that ultimately drain out into a funnel. If you looked at that, that didn't look slow to me, but I'm just going to keep on going. So the burial chamber owner, Matt Mars, says that it's his passion to create totally unique experiences, and he's done so since 2021. But this attraction apparently is a simulation where visitors who are volunteers, visitors are volunteers who have arrived to rescue miners who got trapped in a collapse. So if you're looking at your screen right now, again, that's the simulation. It's kind of showcasing what it'd be like if you were rescuing a miner and the coal and the grounds and stuff caved in. But again, it's something that I would never want to be a part of, but just looking at this experience, it just gives me anxiety. So with that, if it gives me anxiety, I'm pretty sure it gives other people anxiety out there. So let's get right into the comment section and see what you guys had to say about possibly experiencing this situation. All right, so the question is, would you want to be buried alive? And not only buried alive, but buried alive in a haunted attraction. Okay, we got our first comment coming in from Sarah Tracy. Tracy says, no. I love haunted houses. Being buried, not on my list. And she got some reactions on that. And I'm pretty sure she is not alone with that. Our next comment coming in from Craig Clancy. He says, not for me. I'd be in a panic. 100%. And I think that is obviously true. The next comment is coming in from Nicole Marie. She says, if it's the plastic balls from like the McDonald's pit, it's really not that bad at all. Laughable almost. All right. I see you, Nicole. Why don't you get in there and see what happens? And that's the thing. I think because it's a haunted attraction, I think that adds to the scare and the fear of it. But yeah, whether they're plastic balls or not, I still wouldn't do that. Kathy comes and says, absolutely no for me. Nope. So she kept it short and sweet. We got another comment coming in. This is coming in from Tammy. Tammy says that I just went Saturday and my husband, who is 6'2", stood up on a bench and the balls were still over his head. I had a minute of panic, but then the balls dropped down. That is terrifying because if your husband is that tall and they make sure that the entire room fills up, yeah, I can only imagine how that experience is for them as a couple. And then last but not least, Becky come in and she says that went there last year. It was a great time. I will say this, if you are claustrophobic, your anxiety might significantly increase. Yeah, 100%. You don't say. And then obviously my boy Kareem comes in on my personal Facebook page, a professional one, and he says that, nope, I also avoid avalanches, quicksand, and scuba diving as well. So with that, let me go ahead and bring Jazzy Jazz in here to settle the debate because so far I'm a no, but she may be a yes. Jazz, are you with me?
Good morning.
Hey girl, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am good. Now I know you're just eager to have this experience, but would you ever want to be buried alive?
I don't think I could do it. I feel like I'm just way too claustrophobic. Like, I'm a daredevil, but I feel like this would give me a lot of anxiety.
Yeah. 100%. Like, okay, what if somebody paid you to be like, I need you to just sit in this room and let it fill up?
I don't think so. I'm just way too claustrophobic. I feel like I would have a panic attack or something.
Oh, girl.
Like, you get the feeling that you can't breathe, and once that hits in, then I just feel like I would start panicking internally.
Ooh.
But I'm all right for the haunted houses and being chased by clowns and stuff like that, but I draw the line when it comes to being buried alive.
I'm with you on that. I'll tell you one thing, you think I always say, Lord Jesus, bless it. I have that whole room anointed. So tell me, do we have any comments or viewers today?
Yeah, Kareem, he said if the library charged 20 cents per day in 1933, that's almost $5 per day today.
Look at him coming in with the facts.
Always.
I absolutely love him so much.
Same. Yeah, thank you for commenting. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate you just joining the conversation. So.
Perfecto. Well, Jazz, you got anything else for me?
No, that's it.
All right, girlie. Well, you have a blessed day.
All right, you too.
All right, guys. So Jazz is on my side with this as far as not wanting to be buried alive. And can we blame her? Nobody can blame her. Okay, moving on. We got to get to the stories that are going to happen later on throughout our later newscast and those that you want to check out online at WSLS.com. Obviously, the biggest talker still right now is the awful Israel-Hamas war. President Joe Biden, though, will travel to Israel tomorrow to meet with the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and then travel to Jordan to meet with Arab leaders. A large number of Israel Defense Forces troops and military equipment were seen at the Gaza Strip border yesterday as IDF prepares for ground maneuvers against Hamas. All in all, an awful situation. And again, I'm not sure how I feel about our president being over in that environment right now. Anyways, that story plus inflation woes are forcing Americans to rethink their holiday travel plans, but get this, more people are expected to travel than they have done in the past, but they're planning on doing it by car instead of plane. So we got details on that, following up on the statistics behind that. And you've heard about the story. This is dealing with the Lynchburg Commonwealth's that gynecologist that was facing several allegations of people claiming that he did a lot of inappropriate things in his office. Well, Commonwealth's attorney came out, decided not to press charges against Dr. Lewis Dabney. We have a follow-up with that story, and you'll figure out exactly why and the statement that his lawyers were able to release on his behalf. That story and so much more coming up in our later newscast and online at WSLS.com. But in the meantime, we will see you guys tomorrow on our hump day. 8 a.m. WSLS.com.